So, I know I haven't been on here in a while. I just been getting my life together in the best way. My nervous system is nice and calm. You know, getting my bills together. Everything is getting back on track. Like, I love my job. Like, I really can't complain about nothing. But today I got not even but. So today I got a random message from this young lady, and she said, your posts are amazing and so important. Thank you for always sharing these life-saving gems. And that shit just made me instantly cry. I know y'all know I'm a crybaby. I am a crybaby. I'm a crier. But it wasn't like sad or anything. It was just like happy tears because I could just remember a couple of months ago I was having suicidal ideations every single day. Like, I just started this job this month where I'm now making the most money I've ever made, and I love what I do, and I'm getting settled in, and everything seems to just like be panning out perfectly. And I think back to those months from, March until July 1st, this month is when I started this job, and how I was literally thinking about death every single day. I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent. I didn't know how I was going to feed my baby and make sure that he had, food and litter and, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know how I was just going to take care of these basic necessities. But even in those darkest moments, I still found a space to put out content. Because to be honest with you, it was the only thing that was keeping me fucking sane. Like, while I'm doing like job applications from like sun up and sun down, I still found the time to be like, you know what? Like, I need to be doing something productive with my time that feels good to me. Like, putting out these messages feels good to me. Exposing the reality to women and, having them look through life with like their eyes wide open instead of falling for the different kind of delusions. And it's not even necessarily just the guys. It's just opening up your eyes to the world, period. And how crazy and manipulative it can be. But of course, obviously there are beautiful, very beautiful outcomes if you really just see it for what it is. And sometimes you have to sacrifice those fairy tales that you kind of like put in your head, or the things that you've seen on social media or in movies and television and stuff like that, and say, you know what, like, I'm gonna create my own new normal. I'm gonna do things that matter to me outside of like what has been programmed into my mind, and I can still find joy in that. And I don't need to settle for a man, and I don't necessarily need to have a baby, and I don't need to necessarily get married in order to have my happily ever after. So I don't put out my messages to be like spiteful or because I feel bitter. I put out my messages because these are things that I wish that I was taught at a young age in order to prevent me from going through the ego breaks, from constantly, you know what I'm saying, just making unnecessary decisions over and over and over again. And if I actually trusted myself, I might have had a better outcome. I might not have ran across people who I knew were no good for me and let them outweigh their time in my life and me and theirs. So I do this shit because I love it. I don't get paid from this shit. Not no more. I don't get paid from this shit. I do this shit for the love. Eventually the bag will come again, because it came the first time when I first started podcasting. I'm not worried about that. I do this shit because I genuinely care about women. I genuinely want them to have a better quality of life. And that and with me doing that is exposing the harsh truths about about other women, about ourselves, about these men. Because you shouldn't be rolling through life with rose-colored glasses on. You are amongst wolves, and you will get ate the fuck up if you're not paying attention. So receiving this message today makes me feel like, damn, I'm not doing all of this shit in vain. Like, some people will never have any idea how those little messages just like keep a nigga going. They really do. They make a big impact. A little 1-2 sentence with somebody just saying that they appreciate you. How they learned from you. That support don't go unnoticed at all. That's why I'm saying, like, the tears, I was just crying happy tears. I'm thinking about where I was a couple of months ago and thinking like, damn, there was probably a day I really, really was going to go through with giving up on myself. And I did not. I didn't do it. As much as I wanted to say, fuck it, I did not do it. And had I would have done that, I would have let a lot of people down. So I do feel like I have a responsibility. I have the responsibility to keep on putting out these messages and to keep being straightforward with women who aren't being taught the things that I should have been taught as a young woman, as a young girl. Because if the people around you ain't gonna grant you this protection, you gotta learn how to protect your fucking self. And that's just the harsh reality. You got to make sure that you're secure across the board when it comes to your mental, when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to your body, when it comes to your finances. You have to be your biggest advocate. Nobody else. Because all you got in this motherfucking life is you. And yes, will there be people along the way who will support you in ways that you maybe didn't know they could support? Or, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you going through a troubled time and somebody reach out to you and give a helping hand or something like that. Absolutely. But you can't always rely on that. You got to set up safeguards now. So maybe you could not just always be reaching for your hand out, but maybe give a helping hand to somebody else. I'm just happy that I received that message today, and that I don't know, it just gave me an extra boost to just keep going. As a content creator, especially with me being so consistent lately, sometimes you do have days, like you have days where a video will do good numbers, and then you have a whole week, maybe 2 weeks, where ain't nobody too much engaging with shit. And that's just the way the game go. And you got to be able to have tough skin to accept that. Like, okay, yeah, regardless of anybody, double taps or comments on my shit or whatever the case may be, you put out this shit for you. And a lot of the times when I'm putting out messages for other people, I'm also putting out messages as reminders to myself about me staying on track. About me making sure that, every time I step foot out my door, I'm doing my motherfucking thing. I'm showing up as my best self. I'm telling y'all, if I, with little to no support, no family, no nothing, if I could trudge through this fucking shit, if I could have the mental fucking capacity to trudge through this shit, so can you. Because I'm sure a lot of you all have more resources and more family and more friends than me. And hopefully those people are reliable and you can really count on them. Some people be chatting, talking about they ain't got a support system. Whole time they got a whole family that they link up with, that they see on holidays and all. I don't have that. I got my fucking self. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I made this choice because at the end of the day, I couldn't exist in an environment that kept me stagnant. I couldn't exist around people or continue to engage with people who I didn't feel like respected me, right? I had to spread my own wings, you know? And I say this all the time. It's not that I wish people bad. I don't. I just wish them what they deserve. You know? I have people who I love to death. Regardless of what we went through, regardless of words exchanged, regardless of whatever. Love to death that I will never speak to again. And that's real. But I'm all about making sure that I protect myself. Because I'm all that I got. I'm all that I got. If you know a small content creator, if you see somebody trying, not even just a content creator, if you see somebody trying, right? And I've been doing this shit for a little minute now, since January 2021. And yeah, I've had my instances where I've stepped away for a year, came back, revamped, stepped away again, came back. The reason why I keep coming back to this shit is because I love it. I genuinely love it. I genuinely love this shit and will continue to do this shit without getting paid. Because it gives me fulfillment. To know that somebody can learn from my life experiences and the life experiences of other people. That brings me joy. That makes me feel like I'm here on this earth doing my part. In the best way that I know how. By using my voice. So if you know somebody out here who has been grinding, who don't got that many followers, who's starting that clothing brand, who's starting that food service, whatever it may be, who's writing that book, whatever it may be, who's doing hair, whatever. If you see them on they ding, don't be afraid to reach out to them and say, hey, I see you doing your thing. Keep going. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for all of your progress. I wish you nothing but the best in the future. That shit, I'm telling you. That type of shit make a motherfucker go Super Saiyan. You don't know. Some people just be needing that extra little push. And sometimes hearing kind words or receiving kind messages from people, it'll put a motherfucker and it give them that push that they need. So don't think, oh, I don't want to be dick riding and all this, that, and third. Trust me, we're not thinking that. We're thinking, damn, how did I become so privileged for somebody to come and tell me, especially if they're a complete stranger, to come and to tell me that they're appreciative of me doing a good job and how I'm impacting their life in a positive way. You know what I mean? So anyhow, we coming up on 15 minutes. I just wanted to come and, share that with y'all real quick. I'm doing really good right now. I can't complain. And I hope everybody out there who may have gone through a season or is currently going through a season is keeping their head above water the best way as possible. Because it's really fucking hard out here. Especially if you're doing this shit by yourself. But if you got people who are around you and who don't mind supporting you or giving you a helping hand, use your fucking resources. That's what they there for. Don't be so fucking proud, right? Because eventually everybody needs somebody. But yeah, that's enough talking for me. I love y'all so much, and I'll speak to y'all in the next one.